may be seated. Well, the angel's message was not, Mary had a baby, or it's a boy, or the smoke was blue. The angel says, I bring good news of great joy for all people. For you is born this day, for you. The Christ child is the birth of something new, not just for the Holy Family, but for the world, for shepherds and the lowly, the rich and the poor, Jew and Gentile, slave and free, for you and me. The birth of a child, any child, is a joyous occasion. My family lived in Sarasota, the first churches that we served, and there, when a baby was born, they would play Brahms' lullaby overhead, and there was a lightness in the air, just a break from all the stress and sorrow that you often feel in hospitals. There was a strange peace. A child had been born. Tonight we're invited into a strange peace. Tonight, our better angels come out. Things are just a bit different. We sing lullabies together. Still, still, still. Frederick Buechner describes a hurricane in the eye of the storm. He writes, there's no wind, nothing moves, nothing breathes, even silence keeps silent. So hush now, hush. There he is. You see him? Do you see him? Christ is born to you, for us. I love that Mary ponders these things. She's amazed by them, and she treasures them in her heart, and we're invited then to do the same if we are a part of the Holy Family too. What might Mary have pondered? John of Damascus writes this of the Incarnation. How shall I describe this great mystery? For the bodiless one has become embodied. The Word has taken on the reality of flesh. The unseen is seen. The untouchable is touched. The beginninglessness, one, begins. And the Son of God has become the Son of Man. Yes, this is Jesus Christ himself, who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I know that's a lot. It's cosmic, right? I even tripped up on beginningless one. Without a beginning. Has a beginning. That one. Tonight we do make room for the Christ child. It says there was no room, but there was room. Just room wasn't made for him. Surely somebody would have given up their room, right? Or were they too busy to notice? Or were their hearts just overcrowded with different competing loves, as our hearts sometimes get overcrowded? Their own woes, or as their spirits rise and fall, they couldn't hear the cries of Mary and labor pains. We're making room tonight. It's easy to make room tonight. It's beautiful to gather together around the tree. The trick is to figure out how to sustain the story, to keep our faith going from here. And I think it begins by not listening to the story, but putting yourself in the story, receiving the child just as Mary received the good news. Someday I will try to pull off a nativity where a child is passed all around to the shepherds. And Mary goes around and sanitizes their hands and then hands them the baby. Because that's what's really going on here. The baby doesn't stay in the trough. I don't know how many of you have been around newborns, but you don't really get to walk away and come back later. Somebody's got to hold that baby. And so, yes, we hush when we approach the manger, and we wonder, and we ponder, and we're in awe that the one who's eternal has a beginning. But then we're invited to pick up that Christ child, to believe that he was born for us, to not believe our own opinion of ourselves that we might be unworthy, to trust God, that God wanted to do this for you, and then to hold that thought, that belief, and cherish it just as you would hold a small child, as precious. You would guard it with your heart. Christmas stills our hearts. We are aware that God is with us. It's partly communal. We sing with full voice. Our greetings are warmer, our worship more joyful. The merriment even spills out into the world. Humanity is a little bit more as it should be. The fulfillment we know in generosity as disciples is experienced around every Christmas tree. Oh, this feels good. When the first person that held Jesus outside the nativity, it was at the temple. It was a man named Simeon. And when he held the baby Jesus, he said, "My eyes have seen your salvation." It starts with receiving the child, receiving what has been given to you. Your eyes will see the salvation, and that will sustain your faith for all the days. Might we spread that Christmas cheer? Amen.